Hi, hello again. This is Jonathan Miller with the Hometown Historian YouTube page. So I wanted to go, before I do the Union Canal video, I wanted to go to these blue iron size historical signs, and this talks a little bit about Union Canal. Following the Swatara Creek from Pine Grove to main line of the canal at Waterworks was a freedom feeder branch. It was in use from 1830 to 1862. A portion of the big dam, a guard lock, and several lift locks remain on the other side of the Swatara. And this right here is, I'm going to be doing a video on, I'm going to do it from the other side. This is the Waterville Bridge that I talked about earlier in the Swatara Gap and Swatara, for Swatara video. This is a pretty cool bridge that they brought down here, and we'll be filming that shortly, but this is from the other side of the creek. So anyways, we will see you in a bit when we get on the other side of the creek, where we will film as much of the Union Canal that's left as we can. We may go down to the Sudbury side as well, because there's a number of areas of the locks down there as well. It just sort of depends on how much undergrowth there is, because the whole way along down through the creek down this way where you cross the Inwood Bridge, there's all area of locks down through there. Like, it's a smaller area of the canal, but there is a bunch of stonework that's there, but with the undergrowth the way it is, you just can't see anything. So anyways, I just wanted to get this introductory part of the video done, to stop at the Union Canal sign and talk about that a little bit. So we'll see you in a little bit. Thanks, everybody. All right, so I'm gonna try something a little different here. I'm actually gonna film a little bit with my camera as I drive down the road here. To the left over there is this is where the Union Canal ran down through. Unfortunately, the undergrowth, as you can see, is so thick, there's no way that I could possibly see it. But you can see when in the fall, when the undergrowth is down, you can actually see the wall from 72, which is across the road there, or across the river, I should say. But it's a neat drive back through here. It's a little terrifying in my van, because the road is, they maintain it as good as they could, but they eventually shut it down because it went the whole way out to Sudbury, which is probably about 6-7 miles down the road. And along that route is where you will see the Bordner cabin. So at some point I want to go down through there. Hiking's a little bit much for me right now. This is the 81 bridges that go through Swatara Gap, so you get to see Swatara Gap right up close. But all along the left here is that's Union Canal. Not much left there, nothing really that substantial, but you see some walls here and there. It's a cool drive. We used to ride our bikes, and my one friend Chris Fiddler and I, we had done a couple bike journeys back on this road, and it was a bike journey, because the road is definitely hills and all kinds of stuff, and it's not potholes like you're in a war zone. But you can see right down there, like the bed, that's where the Union Canal went through in this part, and we're coming up now on the Waterville Bridge. So I am going to pause this in a second, and then we will check out the Waterville Bridge. I just wanted you to experience getting to go back this road. It's just such a cool road. Like I said, terrifying for your tires and your wheels if you aren't in a truck, but it's a pretty neat place. So we're gonna see if we can find a place to park here. I had one, but I had to go use the bathroom really bad. So thankfully they have a restroom over at Trout Run Trailhead, and my spot is still here. Yay! Yay for the guy that has a really bad foot, or only half left. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna go check out the Waterville Bridge, and then we're gonna go to Union Canal. Thanks, guys. Hi, everybody. It's John once again, Hometown Historian. This is one of the locks. Sorry, I'm trying to get this back to normal so you can see. We'll go down a little further, but this is the most visible lock, I believe, if I remember correctly. We'll go down through the creek and then we'll see more. But yeah, you can actually see where the doors would have been at one time. It's cool how they rounded off here, but this is where the Union Canal used to go down through. You can't really get down there because there is standing water in there, unfortunately. I just want to get a better view. You can see the length of it. But they'd have, where the canal ran, they'd have stones on either side, and they'd have, you know, they had dug a pathway down through, so where they needed to lift the boats up, there were these locks here. So, and they'd fill up and they'd be able to continue moving down the stream. But that is one of the parts of the Union Canal. So I'm going to go back and forth and shutting on and turning back on and edit it all together. But there's the first major lock right down from the Waterville Bridge. It's a pretty cool sight to see considering how old this is. I think it was like 1830 or so. So these things are old. I mean, it's cool that any part of it still exists, but huge stones. Really cool to see this type of history that still exists. So I'm able to get a little bit closer over on the other side. You can see some of the stones here. You can just see how, you know, it's big. You know, it's probably 25 feet wide at least, maybe 30. So you see like I said, at the other side you can really see the where the gates would have been, and there would have been gates on this side as well, and I think that's right in here. But here's where it's sort of really fallen apart and fallen into disrepair. And right here is the Swatty. So how they did it exactly, how these things situated, I really have no idea. But somehow they get them up here, and I mean this is as low here as the creek over to the right, but you know, a lot of it got filled in and whatnot. So anyways, we're going to continue looking down the trail a little bit further. I'm going to see what I can see. I'm not going to be able to go real far, so maybe in the fall I'll come back here and I'll film again when you can actually see more. I sort of assumed you'd be able to see more of it today, and there's just not a ton that you can actually see out here. I think this is cool. This is probably from one of there were a bunch of houses that were here that when they did the Swatara Dam Park. You know, this is from one of the houses, drainage down to the Swatty, because there were a number of houses right up on the other side of Old State Road, because there were houses all along Old State Road up here, and it's a shame because all of them got torn down. And you'll see every now and then, you'll see foundations of those homes. And at some point I want to take you probably via bike, because right now I think it's going to be a while until I'm able to start hiking to be able to do the distance, because I only have so much stamina right now with my health being what it is. But I would like to go along there and talk about some of the stuff that existed, the homes, maybe some of the names of the people that had lived out there. Most of them are now gone and passed on from this life, but you know, it's a shame because there are so many just beautiful homes out here, and they just tore them all down, took the people's property from them for little to nothing in return to what the homes were actually valued at monetarily. And that doesn't even go into what the value of them was to the individuals as their homes. And we talk about, reiterate a lot of times with the Hometown Historian channel, that home is something that's very, very special for all of us, which is why we have an affinity and a closeness to these places and a bond. And to have that torn away and there's nothing you can do really had to be traumatic for so many people, losing their homes. They fought as well as they could, but at the end of the day, you can't really take on a power that's greater than you to that degree. So anyway, so I'm going to shut off again, and then we'll continue to go down the trail here, and we'll see if we can find something else, because I know it's all along here there's locks and whatnot, but it's like I said, the undergrowth is so great, and honestly I don't remember where all this stuff was. I know it's all along here, there's little things like little parts of it you can see yet, but that was a while ago, so I don't know how much. Like that first lock is still in pretty good condition, and that what I remember. If I was a little more good on my feet, I would go down up against the thing and you get a better close look at the stones. Here's another area here. Like there isn't a whole lot of stonework. There's some there that you can see, but this is, once again, that's the Union Canal. You know, not all of them, like the locks were the ones that had the solid stonework. Let me try to close this in a little bit. You can see a little bit of the stones there, the wall there, but that's all, that's Union Canal there. But like I said, in the fall you can really see everything. It's just right now it's very, very difficult to see simply because of the undergrowth being here, especially you get in July, August, the weeds take off. So right now everything's just way overgrown and you really can't see a whole lot. So I'm gonna turn off for now, and then we'll turn back on once I come across something a little bit more significant and take another peek at it. Thanks everybody. So once again, here is, let me narrow this down, get it further away. You can see the pathway of the Union Canal, and it just keeps on going and going and going. And like I said, like where the canal didn't have the locks, it was just stonework like this. They had stones to keep the ground back, and not real pretty, but still very substantial. And the amount of work that went into this back in the early 1800s, it's quite impressive considering they didn't have the equipment that we have now, and they're able to do the things that they did. So I don't think this is another lock here. I mean, the stonework on the locks is usually a lot tighter. It's usually more finished stone and not just sort of thrown together. And once again, a lot of work goes into this and the engineering behind it, so I don't want to diminish that. I think right down there's another lock actually. I just noticed it through all the trees and whatnot. So that's down through there. We'll go down further and I'll see if I can make my way down to that, but that's impressive. That is really, really impressive. Like, let me try to, and the walls are a lot higher. You can see them right there in the middle. That's the another lock. So we're gonna try to make our way down there, and so I'm gonna stop for a second so you don't see me almost kill myself tripping over something, because we don't want that, because I want you to think I'm a professional. But we'll head down there, and hopefully I can actually make my way down in there, because down here there's a little bit of water, but it's not like down at the other lock where it was, you know, pretty boggy. This one I can actually maybe make my way down in and walk along the walls even, maybe, and you can see them up close. Let's go back up to the trail and let's see what we can see. Alright, so here we're up closer. I might be able to make it down on the other side, but I really don't know. I'm not sure how much I like this getting close up either. It sort of freaks me out. I don't like heights. But that is, like, there you can see the notch. Sorry about the finger there. Where you can see the notch where they had the doors. Down there is the side I think that we saw. I'm gonna see if I can make it down over there. But they had, I believe, now that I'm seeing how this is done, you can see the wall there. Like the crude stone wall was behind where they had these really elaborate, like really well masoned walls, where the stone masons really put that in. It's actually really, really impressive. So I'm going to try to struggle down over there, because it looks like there's a pathway down over there, and get close to the edge and actually touch the stone. You get an idea of how, I mean, this is high. I don't even want to get close to the edge because my balance isn't that great anymore, and these things freak me out. So I think I'm going to play it safe. I don't want to die on video. We don't need another version of Blair Witch where you see me standing in a corner all broken up. There's a pathway there, but that's not going to happen. We'll take the easy path that's over here and see if that actually can get us down over here. So let's go down through here and see what we can see. Hopefully I don't die. Foot actually feels pretty decent. For those of you that don't know me, I had to have a surgery at the end of January. It was actually February 1st, but I had been dealing with some issues with my feet where I got injured pretty severely. and was dealing with infection on and off. And unfortunately, it got into the bone, so I had osteomyelitis. I also wound up having my blood got septic. Sepsis is an infection of the blood, which is extremely dangerous. We actually had a friend that their daughter passed away from sepsis, and that they don't really know what caused it, and it just sort of came out of nowhere. And it's pretty ugly disease because, you know, you'll be all right one second and then the next you're not, and there's just no really knowing, you know, what's happening at all times. But I probably should have died, but ultimately, because of the osteomyelitis, they had to take my second and third toe, and then they had to take the metatarsals, which are the bones that are from your toe to your ankle. And because of that, basically half the bone structure in my foot is gone. So anyways, I think I'm going to stop this just for now because I don't want to fall. We'll be back when we get right up to the to that. I was hoping we'd be able to get down there and actually touch the stone, so we should be able to do that. So I'm just stop for a second so I don't die. It's just a little sketchy there for a second. This is a really tiny thing, but I'm not that stable on my feet. My balance isn't that great, and I just don't trust it. And it's getting a lot stronger, but still pretty bad. But anyways, here you're looking right at, this is the edge of the lock. And this is right down through here. So just to give you an idea, I'm a big guy, 6'2". That's my hand on the rock there. I'd have to, it's a shame I have somebody else to like show you, but this is a tree here. You know, that's why everything looks like ridiculous. They had it way too zoomed in, but that's like right there. That's just one of the stones there, and they're all put together, but that's just impressive. But you can see here what I was talking about earlier from shooting from above. They had the sort of rough rock wall behind, and then the really well carved stone on the front. And a lot of these, either the stone was taken, because that was known for happening, that people took them for their houses or whatever, or it just caved in, because you can see through here, which I was hoping to get down through there, but I don't think that's going to happen because I don't really want to try to walk across the stones. At least I don't think I do. What I do for fame and glory. It's actually not that bad. It's better than I thought it was, but you can see the stones here that fell off the wall. I just have to take my time. I do move rather slow. Not as quick as I used to be. Still as handsome. At least that's what my mom says. Of course, you can be ugly as sin and your mom will still think you're handsome. I just want to get a general idea of how high this is. But here you can see how it all fell away. And that's a lot of this stuff right here is probably those stones that were at one time were finished. But, alright, how to proceed. Once again, I'm sorry for the slow speed here, but quick on my feet. I think some people are coming up above here. Hopefully nobody's planning on jumping down on me. But you can see here, like it is, and maybe if these people peek over, you can get a general idea of how high this is and how big it is. I mean, it's really impressive. But this is the Union Canal. Hey, how you guys doing? Hi. Yeah, it's high up there. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to see something, you know, still exists. It's not in that great a shape anymore, but pieces of it still exist that you can come and see. And like, this is just impressive that they were able to do this type of stuff and just be so precise. You know, back 190 years ago when this was built. But yeah, it's, I mean, you see how perfect it is. And that's, you know, after 190 years and with it crumbling and falling apart, it's quite impressive. Whee. Yeah, so here's one of these stones. This is one that sort of looks like it's circled off there a bit. So that may have been one of the corner edge pieces. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be at least 30 feet high. Like, it's impressive. I'm glad it was, and of course somebody got here to do a little bit of graffiti to make a little monster. His mom thinks that he's handsome too, just like me. We ugly guys try. Yeah, so this is really cool. You get to see where this is where I think the doors, somewhere in here is where these things were. Because you see this is recessed as well off the main wall. It's the same over there. You can see how it's recessed, but just the precise, you know, how they did that so precise is impressive. And it had to be, because if it wasn't precise, it'd leak and it wouldn't work properly. So these things had to really be very precise, and then it would just continue on down through. You can see like how corners like a castle. Really impressive. So I'm going to attempt to go up that because I don't really want to go back through. So hopefully we see you in a few minutes. So I came down here to Sudberg. I don't think I am going to attempt it. I think it's a ways down. You can see on the side here a little bit of the bed of where the Union Canal would have been, but it's not real well defined, and the growth is pretty substantial, so it's very hard to see down there where everything is. And I think it's like that for quite a ways, if I remember correctly. So like I said, in the fall I want to try to get up here with maybe Cliff, the Wandering Woodsman, and we can do another video on it. I think it's just going to be a little bit much for me right now. I just have to sort of pace myself, but I am going to come and go over to Outwood and tell a couple family stories, some of the individuals from my dad's side, and be some interesting Miller lore. So all right, well, we will see you over in Outwood, and we'll see you soon. Thanks everybody.